Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, said the Greek philosopher Aristotle circa 384 BC. He was born in Stagira, Greece, where he was soon enrolled in Plato's academy and proved an exemplary scholar. Aristotle is most remembered for his estimated 200 works, ranging from scientific observations to dialogues. Today we will examine one of his works, Poetics, in which he analyzed one of the most common forms of a play, the tragedy. We will explain his guidelines from Poetics using Sophocles' Oedipus the King. We believe Sophocles' work fulfilled the Aristotelian guidelines for a tragedy in 7 main ways, and in this episode we will look to explain them to everyone at home. Just like an image an artist paints is not the actual thing depicted, but merely an imitation of what he sees, so too are poems, imitations except in language. Their performance of a play is not an actual event taking place, but merely an imitation of one that might take place. It is, in this way, mimetic.
Aristotle's first characteristic of a tragedy is its mimesis, or its imitation of nature. As seen in the beginning scene of Oedipus by Sophocles, the priests are gathering to see Oedipus, king of Thebes. This scene is one of the many examples of mimesis. The point is that the actors playing the priests in Oedipus are clearly a substitute through which we can imagine what the real Oedipus and priests would be like. We are detached enough from this poem to reflect on what we are experiencing and learn from it. And in this way, it fulfills Aristotle's first guidelines from Poetics.
Aristotle thought that the subject matter of a tragedy is meant to depict a story of magnitude, in which it involves the misfortune of a person that is neither good nor bad, as a result of a vice. Oedipus the King focuses on the downfall of Oedipus and his family. We see the character Oedipus as inherently good with redeeming qualities. His vices, including his ignorance, led to his downfall, a downfall that is quite relatable to an unsuspecting audience. As the story progresses, the audience realizes that Oedipus did in fact kill his father and marry his mother, a topic that is all too serious and grim. Sophocles follows Aristotle's second guideline in this respect because he focuses on one issue of great importance and uses a character that is not too perfect or evil. Aristotle believed that a well-written tragedy should have a beginning, middle, and end. He thought it should be written in a way that allows the audience to take it in by memory. The author was expected to take a series of important events, rather than detail a character's whole life.
Oedipus follows Aristotle's third guideline for a tragedy because it packs in Anagnurus's discovery of recognition, peripetia, the reversal of fortune, suffering, and downfall of Oedipus, all into a well-written and brief tragedy. It does not drone on like an epic poem, and Sophocles specifically writes about focused incidents. The moderate length allows the reader to understand Oedipus's history and character without boring them with useless details. Now, I'll please get back to my work.
O God, all come true, all burst of light. O light, no let me look my last on you. I stand revealed at last, cursed in my birth, cursed in my marriage, cursed in the lives I cut down with these hands.
As seen in this quote by Oedipus, the poem makes use of rhythm and harmony through its diction. It was written in iambic pentameter, which seems to be reflective of the character's proper demeanor. When Oedipus speaks, the reader sees a kind of formal and regular rhythm, which could be associated with a royal or a noble character, like Oedipus, king of Thebes. Aristotle said that a well-written tragedy needed a rhythm in order to be proper. Sophocles meant for his rhythmic diction to play a heavy role in the control of dramatic aspects of the play. Oedipus fulfills this with its use of iambic pentameter for the characters and the melodramatic language to emphasize the tragedy.
People of Thebes, my countrymen, look on Oedipus. He solved the famous riddle with his brilliance. He rose to power, a man beyond all power. Who could behold his greatness without envy? Now what a black sea of terror has overwhelmed him.
Aristotle believed that rhythm and harmony had to be used in different combinations and parts of the tragedy in order to make it successful. In this way, Oedipus follows Aristotle's fifth guideline through the use of different rhythm for the chorus. When the chorus speaks, the iambic pentameter is replaced with rhyming couplets. This serves as a reminder to the audience that the chorus is separate from the other characters. This writing style is less formal and more sing-songy, so as to provide a change from the elevated tone to the iambic pentameter.
In Aristotle's eyes, narrating a tragedy was simply not enough. The Greeks believed that a tragedy was the highest form of a drama, and therefore it must be dramatized or acted out so as to unify the plot and provide something more than just recounting a story.
Sophocles wrote Oedipus with just the right amount of complexity and drama. His use of elevated language and dramatic diction added necessary feel to the plot. Without this, the play would be empty. In order for the audience to remember the play, it needed to be presented in a dramatic form with musical accompaniment and proper staging. In this way, Sophocles fulfills Aristotle's sixth guideline.
Catharsis is of Greek origin meaning pure. Aristotle strongly believed in catharsis, the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. He believed a well-written play should have this as a response to feelings of fear and pity among the audience.
For a tragedy to arouse pity and fear, the audience must observe a hero who is noble going from happiness to misery as a result of an error on his part. The reader experiences this pity required by Aristotle's guidelines when Oedipus realizes he killed his father, married his mother, and fathered children in an incestuous relationship. The fulfillment of Aristotle's catharsis or purgation occurs when Oedipus stabs his own eyes out. In this dramatic way, he purifies himself, while at the same time causing himself to suffer for the pain that he caused the city. However, one way that Oedipus, the king, fails to follow Aristotle's Poetics is the fact that Oedipus's wife and mother succeeds in killing herself and dying. Aristotle believed the best kind of plot included a character that narrowly avoided killing a family member. Jocasta does, in fact, die, therefore falling a little bit short of Aristotle's ideals for a flawless tragedy.
Oedipus the King and Poetics are two impeccable examples of Greek literature. Oedipus meets nearly all of the tragic criteria that Aristotle lays out in Poetics. The reader can see that Aristotle was impressed with Sophocles' expert plot, flawed characters, and the use of some of Aristotle's favorite plot devices. Whether it be the use of peripeteia or agnoresis, the reader can see that these two authors had similar views on the components of a superb tragedy.